Here I would like to quote an Ottoman historian, a certain Mustafa Selanik'i Efendi. He was the Bakanuvis, Ottoman title, which literally means event writer. It was the practice of the Ottoman court for the Sultan to appoint an event writer, whose duty was to keep a record of major historical events, to keep a record of them and in due course compile them into books. At a certain date in 1593, Selanik'i Mustafa Efendi records the arrival of an English ambassador in Istanbul. English, of course, this was before the Act of Union, not a British, an English ambassador. He tells us nothing about the ambassador. He doesn't tell us his name, doesn't tell us his mission or anything that he did. He makes only 2 points about the English ambassador who came to Istanbul in 1593. The first is the ship on which he arrived. He looked at this ship in wonderment. He said, "This is a ship which travels 13,700 miles and has 83 guns. Obviously, these are not round figures. He counted them. If they'd been round figures, he might have said 80 or 90. He wouldn't have said 83. I think you'll agree. He said, a ship like this has never been seen before in our waters. He was right. This was a ship built for the Atlantic and was capable of traveling from England all the way around Western Europe, through the Straits of Gibraltar into the Mediterranean and right across the Mediterranean to Istanbul. He was right. His historic sense was acute and accurate. This was one of the major features which gave rise to the predominance of Western power, not only in the Middle East but all over Asia. The Atlantic ship, which was swifter, safer, cheaper, and much more efficient, both for commerce and for war. And thanks to these ships, even small European powers like Holland and Portugal were able to acquire and rule vast empires in Asia. Selanik'i Mustafa Efendi mentions a second remarkable point about the ambassador. That is the ruler who appointed him and whom he represents. And Mustafa Efendi says with visible, palpable astonishment, you can actually read it in the text without too much difficulty. He says the ruler who sent this ambassador is a woman, Elizabeth, of course, who governs her inherited realm with full authority.